Hi, today I'd like to talk to you about geopolitical risks and suggest a framework that your organisation might like to consider in order to create value from the volatility, uncertainty, complexity and ambiguity that often flows from geopolitical risks. Geopolitical risks are major events such as the upcoming US election, Brexit, the collapse of the Soviet Union, terrorism, social activism or multilateral sanctions. Regardless of whether you run a cafe, you're in the logistics business, and I run an IT company, or in the resource sector, it's pretty hard to avoid the impacts of geopolitical risks. But first, let's get two things straight. Risk is not something to be feared. In fact, conquering risk is a state of mind focused on success rather than failure. And second, a risk-free world just doesn't exist. The suggested framework is based on three components: having an adaptable strategy, being networked, and being solutions focused. You should have an adaptable strategy because fixed things in nature just don't survive impact in the real world. An adaptable strategy is built on the following: having a deep appreciation of the context of your operating environment. That is, identifying the mismatches between the way you think the world might work and the way it really does. It's kind of like interpreting Hans Holbein's painting The Ambassadors, because it's as much about what you can't see as what you can. Second, having situational awareness. That is, knowing what's going on around you, or finding out people who do, because that will help build the contextual intelligence. Third, giving your team the freedom to think and maneuver. Without the freedom to think and maneuver, it might be challenging to create novel solutions to the challenges around you. And finally, that adaptable strategy needs to be built on three things: people, ideas, hardware, in that order. Doesn't matter how good your systems are or your technology if you haven't got the right people and they don't trust each other implicitly. The second part of the framework is being networked. That is, building a community web of protection. It kind of is like a human radar system. It will enable you to detect weak signals. Weak signals that could be threats or opportunities, and detect them in a timely manner that gives you the time and space to consider resource allocation or an alternative pathway. And finally, the final part of the framework involves being solutions focused. There's no use worrying about how many things you've done if you're not winning. Focus on the impacts of a small number of actions rather than how much activity. It's no use focusing on that activity if you're not generating that success. And overall, become comfortable in a continual cycle of solving solutions as the environment changes around you. I trust that's been helpful and look forward to seeing you at Swinburne in the future.